What is up, everybody? I'm back in a Hawaii shirt. Usually I have on my sweatshirts, which my long sleeve shirts, and it is chilly down here like usual, but I just got home, it's late at night, and I'm warm, so let's go. Got the old short sleeve Hawaii shirt on in Minnesota, repping it, so let's go, baby. So now you guys know it's not sweatshirt weather year round. I actually do wear short sleeve shirts. But anyways, I think I'm going to look back on these videos and I'm going to be mildly fond of them because I've been talking about Song of Solomon 5 and Revelation 5. Those are kind of my two things, the two themes that I've been on. Song of Solomon 5, that whole story of the bride and her lovesick heart for her king, and then describing her and him in 10 attributes, and then the response from the daughters of Jerusalem who wonder who this king is, and then hear about him and see him through a different lens and now have a different response. And it's, where is this man? Where is this beloved, that we may seek him with you? And Revelation 5 is what as well. It's just, but one of the elders said to me, "Do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David," that's what I'm talking about tonight, David, "has prevailed to open the scroll and to loose its seals. And I looked, and behold, in the midst of the throne, and in the midst of the 4 living creatures, stood a lamb as though it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out into all the earth. Then he came to him and took the scroll out of the right hand of him who sat on the throne." Now this is a scene in heaven, futuristic, that is going to happen. John was peering in to the beauty realm of God, into the throne room of God. And he came and took a scroll. The lamb slain came and took the scroll. Now when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures, 24 elders, fell down, each having a harp and golden bowls, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sang a new song. "Worthy are you, Lord, to take the scroll and to open its seals. For you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your own blood, out of every tribe, tongue, people, and nation, and has made us kings and priests to our God, and we shall reign on the earth." That is power-packed. The worthiness of Jesus redeemed us by his blood, the seal of his blood, the redemption of the blood of a perfect, spotless lamb, that out of every tribe, tongue, people, nation, all around the earth, the coastlands, the inlands, the rich, the poor, tongue, and tribe, has restored the order of our created purpose as kings and priests to rule on the earth and to create an atmosphere for his presence. It's the story in the garden. It's the story of Moses and the tabernacle. It's the story of Solomon and David. It's the story of the second temple, Solomon's temple. It's the story in heaven. And it's our story, that we would be priests on this earth, and that we will reign with him. That's Revelation 5. Oh, that he's worthy to take the scroll. The Lamb, look, behold. There's 2 beholds in 2 verses. Verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6. 2 verses, verse 5 and verse 6. "Do not weep. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, has prevailed." Again in verse 6. "Behold, in the midst of the throne, in the midst of the 4 living creatures, stood a lamb as though it had been slain, having 7 horns, 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God." It's the Holy Spirit. But he stood there where no one else is worthy to stand. Jesus stood there because he was the lamb slain. This, I don't have words. But that root of David is mentioned in Revelation 5. The person who's mentioned the most in the whole Bible besides Jesus is David, who happens to be Jesus' great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, who was anointed king in Bethlehem a Bethlehemite. As Samuel was mourning Saul, because God was telling him there was going to be a new king. Samuel's like, okay, where? He goes to Bethlehem, out of all the places. It's like a Nazareth, like an out-of-the-way place. It's like a Shakopee, or at least Seward. Mankato, just something out of the way. Something that's not super popular in the eyes of men. Not desired naturally. But God sees it, and God desires and has something special for that land. Like Jerusalem and many other cities across the earth and places. In 1 Samuel 16, I love it. Samuel goes to Jesse. Jesse has 8 sons. He brings 7 of his 8 sons who are strong, probably tall, good looking, puts on their best outfit, everything, the whole 9. Brings them all, the whole 9 yards. Brings them all up, puts them before Samuel. Jesse is honored as honored can be. We have this man here, and he's going to bring a next king for our people. It's one of these sons. But God says to Samuel, it's not one of these 7. Does he have any other sons? And Jesse says, yeah, I have one more son. He's out on the hilltop tending the sheep. Samuel's like, well, go get him. He brings back David, who was young, ruddy, good looking, but he was young and ruddy, cheeks were red. He was a shepherd's boy. His dad didn't even invite him to this time. He didn't even invite him to come and be one of his sons to be anointed as king over Israel. He wasn't even seen like that in this family. And Samuel saw David, and God said, that's him. Anoint him to be king. This worshiping shepherd boy who played an instrument, who then later went before Saul and played an instrument, and the distressing spirits left him. And times of refreshing came upon Saul when David played his instrument. As David goes on to say in the Psalms, and grows in God and has ups and downs, you know his story. God's gentleness made David great.